It's 2 a.m. Your heart's racing. The deadline isn't just close, it's hunting you. This is Edge Igniter, and I'm Alex Rivers. Today, we're cracking open a performance cheat code, microhabits, tiny, 2-minute moves that flip you from I'm overwhelmed to I'm in control, even when the stakes are brutal. In this episode, you'll learn how to use the 2-minute rule, habit stacking, smart environment design, and identity level shifts to turn small actions into unfair advantages in boardrooms, war rooms, and onstage. If you've ever stared at the screen, unable to start, this one's your ignition switch. Let's light it up. So let's get real about high-stakes environments for a second. High stakes isn't just busy, it's when the cost of failure is high, and the margin for error is thin. Funding rounds, surgical procedures, live product launches, courtroom battles, big stage keynotes. In those moments, your brain does two things. It narrows in on the threat, and it quietly kills off anything that feels like extra effort. That's why long, heroic plans die the instant pressure hits, while tiny, frictionless actions survive. Microhabits are built for that reality. Instead of asking, how do I overhaul everything? The better question is, what is the smallest repeatable action I can still do when I'm tired, stressed, and under the gun? Today we're going to walk through 4 levers. The 2-minute rule, habit stacking, environment design, and identity-based action. Each one is designed to work when you are not at your best, which is exactly when you need them most. Let's start with the 2-minute rule. At its core, it says, when you start a new habit, scale it down so it can be done in 2 minutes or less. You're not trying to win the whole game in one move, you're trying to cross the line from not doing to doing. In a high-stakes scenario, that shift from 0 to 1 is everything. Think of a founder staring at a blank investor deck the night before a pitch. Work on the pitch is vague and heavy. Draft one slide with 3 bullets is concrete and doable. 2 minutes. Another lens. Imagine a surgeon before a complex procedure. The habit isn't be perfectly prepared. The microhabit is, walk in, open the checklist, and read the first line out loud. Once that happens, momentum carries the rest. Here's how to use the 2-minute rule today. Pick the highest pressure project on your plate. Ask, what's a 2-minute version of progress on this? Make it so small it almost feels like cheating. Open the document, write the subject line, sketch one box of the diagram, send one message. You're training your brain to associate that project with quick wins instead of dread. Over time, the 2-minute move becomes the gateway into much longer stretches of deep work, but the rule keeps the door wide open on the worst days. You can even create a 2-minute emergency protocol for when panic hits. When I feel frozen, I will open the file, write one messy sentence, and set a 5-minute timer. No heroics. Just motion. Once you've got motion, the next lever is habit stacking. Habit stacking is simple. You take something you already do every day and attach a new behavior to it. The formula is, after I, existing habit, I will, new microhabit. This works beautifully in high-stakes environments because your routines don't disappear, your awareness does. So we outsource awareness to structure. Take a CEO in the middle of a merger. Mornings are chaos, but one ritual never moves, that first coffee. So the stack becomes, after I take my first sip of coffee, I record a 60-second voice note of what must happen today for this deal to move forward. That 1 minute cuts through the noise and becomes the day's anchor. For you, this might look like, after I open my laptop, I list my top 3 priorities for the next 90 minutes. After I end any meeting, I capture one concrete next step in writing. After I walk into the building, I take 30 seconds to rehearse the key line I need to deliver today. The power here is reliability. You're not relying on willpower to remember, you're piggybacking on something you always do anyway. To build your first stack. 1. List 5 to 10 things you do every workday, no matter what: coffee, logging in, daily stand-up, stepping on stage, opening the trading platform. 2. For each, write one tiny, high-leverage behavior you could tack on that moves your most important project forward. 3. Pick just one to start with this week. Keep it so small that even on your worst day, you won't talk yourself out of it. Next up, environment design. When pressure is high, your environment quietly decides how you behave. Visual cues, friction, and layout all matter more than your intentions. In a newsroom sprinting toward a breaking story, the reporter whose phone is face down in a drawer and whose notes are laid out in front of them will outperform the one juggling notifications and tabs. Same talent, different environment. Different result. Environmental design is about 3 moves. Make desired actions obvious. Make undesired actions inconvenient. Reduce decision points. Some examples in high-stake settings. If you need to write, the document you're working on should be the only thing open when you sit down. Close everything else before you step away. If you're prepping for a big call, put your one-page brief in your line of sight and your phone out of reach. If you want better midday recovery, leave a water bottle where your hand naturally lands and schedule a 90-second stretch reminder before critical blocks. Microhabit version. You don't need to redesign your entire office. Just pick one corner, one surface, one routine and ask, what could I move, hide, or highlight so that the right behavior is the easiest one? Tomorrow, try this. Before you end your day, set up your space for your most important task tomorrow. Notes visible, file open, distractions physically moved. You're building a cockpit that launches you instead of a minefield that derails you. The last lever is identity. High-stakes performers don't just chase outcomes, they embody roles. And every microhabit you execute is a small vote for the kind of person you are under pressure. Instead of I need to be less scattered, you shift to I am the kind of leader who always knows the next step. Instead of I should network more, it becomes I am the connector who follows through. The actions can stay tiny. Sending a 60-second follow-up voice note after a meeting. Writing a one-line debrief at the end of the day. Practicing the opening of your pitch 3 times before you walk into the room. Each action is you casting a ballot for that identity. You don't have to win unanimously in a single day. You just need a pattern of votes that becomes hard to argue with. Here's a quick exercise. 1. Pick one identity that would change how you show up in high-stakes moments. Calm closer, clear strategist, prepared operator, fearless communicator. 2. Ask, what is the smallest daily action that person would never skip, even on bad days? 3. Turn that into a 2-minute habit and, if possible, stack it onto something you already do. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to walk into pressure situations already carrying evidence. I've been acting like this person all week. This is just the next rep. Let's pull this together. You learned how. The 2-minute rule gets you from zero to motion when your brain wants to freeze. Habit stacking locks microhabits onto routines you already trust. Environment design quietly shifts your odds by making the right action the easy one. Identity-based habits turn every micro-move into a vote for who you are under pressure. Here's your micro-challenge for the next 24 hours. 1. Choose one high-stakes project. 2. Design one 2-minute action that moves it forward. 3. Attach it to an existing habit. 4. Tweak one part of your environment to make that action obvious. 5. After you do it, say out loud if you can dash I'm the one who shows up when it counts. That's your ignition sequence. Thanks for tuning in to Edge Igniter. If this episode helped you find even one microhabit you can deploy under pressure, share it with someone else who's operating at the edge right now. Follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Mastering sleep as your ultimate performance hack, a practical blueprint for turning your nights into a performance multiplier, not a recovery gamble. Until then, pick your 2-minute move, lock in your stack, and show up as the person you're becoming.